Welcome back to the frequency of abundance. If you are watching part 2 of this series, it means you survived the awakening. You didn't run back to the comfort of the matrix. You felt the truth in part 1 vibrating in your chest, and you decided that you are finally ready to dismantle the financial illusions that have kept your bloodline trapped for generations. You are starting to realize that the wealthy do not just have a different bank balance. They possess a completely different operating system. The middle class is playing checkers, reacting to every bill, every emergency, and every economic shift with fear. The 1% is playing chess, thinking 5 moves ahead, manipulating the energy of money with absolute precision. Today, we are going deeper. We are going to expose the mechanisms of wealth that the system intentionally hid from you. Prepare your mind, because what you are about to hear contradicts almost everything you were taught in school. The next catastrophic mistake the wealthy avoid, while the middle class is paralyzed by it, is the profound misunderstanding of debt. From the moment you could understand money, you were programmed with a specific mantra. Debt is evil. Pay off your house, pay off your car, cut up your credit cards, and live completely debt-free. For the average person, this sounds like financial peace. But in the realm of the ultra-wealthy, living completely debt-free is a massive strategic failure. You have to understand that there are 2 distinct universes of debt. There is consumer debt, and there is leveraged debt. Consumer debt is when you borrow money to buy things that lose value. Designer clothes, vacations you cannot actually afford, a luxury car that depreciates the second you drive it off the lot. That is bad debt. That is financial slavery. But the wealthy use the second kind, leveraged debt. They use OPM, other people's money. The rich will borrow money from a bank at a 5% interest rate, and they will pour that money into a cash-flowing asset, like real estate or a business, that pays them 10 or 15%. They pocket the difference. They are literally manifesting money from thin air using the bank's resources. When you are terrified of all debt, you shrink your reality. You limit your expansion to only what you can save from your weekly paycheck. The wealthy do not wait 30 years to save up for an apartment building. They leverage the bank's money to buy it today, let the tenants pay off the loan, and keep the equity. Debt, when used by an uneducated mind, is a weapon of self-destruction. But debt, when used by a financially literate creator, is the ultimate multiplier of wealth. You must stop vibrating in fear of the banking system and learn how to make the system work for your vision. The next trap is ignoring the rules of the game. The middle class makes money, pays the government taxes immediately, and tries to survive on what is left. The wealthy make money, spend what they need to expand through corporate entities, and pay taxes on what is left over. I am not talking about evasion. I am talking about the legal, structural rules of the matrix. The wealthy avoid the mistake of owning everything in their own name. The middle class wants the pride and ego stroke of having their name on the deed, their name on the car, their name on the bank account. The wealthy know that owning everything in your own name makes you a massive target. They use systems. They use limited liability companies, trusts, and holding companies. They control everything, but legally, they own nothing. This protects their energy and their assets. But beyond just asset protection, it is about deep financial literacy. The wealthy dedicate time every single week to studying money. They study markets, they study tax codes, they study trends. The average person spends more time planning their 2-week summer vacation than they do planning their financial legacy. You cannot master a game if you refuse to study the rule book. Money is a language. If you traveled to a foreign country and refused to learn the language, you would struggle to survive. You are trying to navigate the country of wealth without learning the vocabulary of assets, liabilities, cash flow, amortization, and equity. The wealthy immerse themselves in financial education. They pay mentors. They attend seminars. They read balance sheets the way other people read fiction. If you want to hold millions of dollars, you have to upgrade the software of your mind to handle that bandwidth. You must stop relying on a single employer to dictate your financial worth and start educating yourself on how money actually moves across the globe. The next monumental mistake the wealthy avoid is choosing comfort over freedom. The middle class is obsessed with safety. They want the safe job, the steady paycheck, the predictable routine. But the universe is governed by the law of exchange. You cannot get something of massive value without risking something of equal value. The wealthy understand that the greatest risk you can possibly take in this life is playing it safe. If you play it safe, you are guaranteed to end up exactly like everyone else, overworked, underpaid, exhausted, and full of regret. Rich people do not recklessly gamble, but they take calculated, educated risks. They are willing to step into the unknown. They are willing to fail publicly. They know that failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is a stepping stone to success. When a middle-class person tries a business and it fails, they say, "See, I knew I wasn't cut out for this. I'm going back to my safe job." When a future millionaire tries a business and it fails, they say, "Fascinating. I just learned a $10,000 lesson on exactly what not to do. Let's build the next one." It is a completely different frequency. You have to get comfortable being uncomfortable. Growth only happens outside of your comfort zone. If your current life feels safe, predictable, and entirely manageable, you are not growing. You are stagnating. You must be willing to invest the money you are afraid to lose. You must be willing to make the phone call that terrifies you. You must be willing to launch the product before it is perfectly ready. The wealthy favor speed and action over perfection and hesitation. Every day you wait for the perfect time to start your business or make that investment. The invisible tax of inflation and lost opportunity is eating away at your future. Understand this universal truth. The quantum field rewards courage. When you take a bold step, when you put your money where your vision is, you send a shockwave through the universe. You are declaring, "I believe in my destiny so much that I am willing to bet on myself." That energy is incredibly magnetic. It draws resources, synchronicities, and opportunities to you that you could never have planned for. But if you sit on the couch, waiting for a sign, holding onto your tiny savings account, terrified of debt, and uneducated about money, the universe cannot help you. You have effectively closed the door to abundance. There is a massive transfer of wealth happening in the world right now. Money is rapidly leaving the hands of the fearful and flowing directly into the hands of the prepared. The people who are holding on to outdated beliefs about money, the ones burying their talents in the sand because they are afraid of the economy, are going to be left behind. But the future millionaires, the ones who are watching this video, the ones who are upgrading their financial literacy and learning to command the energy of money, are going to catch this massive wave. You have to position yourself to receive. Positioning yourself means breaking the old habits today. It means looking at your bank statement, not with anxiety, but with the analytical eye of a CEO. It means looking at a loan, not as a heavy burden, but asking, how can this capital buy me more time and more cash flow? When you change the way you look at money, the money you look at changes. You stop being a servant to the dollar, and you become its master. You are holding the keys to your own prison. Today, you are putting those keys in the lock and turning them. You are no longer going to fear debt. You are going to master it. You are no longer going to be ignorant about the rules of money. You are going to study them like your life depends on it, because your financial freedom actually does. You are no longer going to worship at the altar of comfort and safety. You are going to embrace the calculated risks that forge empires. You are shedding the skin of the consumer and stepping into the powerful armor of the creator. We have one final part of this series left, and part 3 is going to tie everything together. I am going to reveal the ultimate psychological mistake that separates the fake rich from the generational wealthy. It is the final boss of your money mindset. But before we go there, I need you to anchor today's frequency. I need you to make a physical declaration that you are no longer playing by the rules of the middle class. Go to the comments section right now. This is your contract with your future self. I want you to type, "I am mastering the rules of wealth." Type it with absolute authority. I am mastering the rules of wealth. Feel the shift in your identity as you hit send. You are no longer a victim of the system. You are learning how to own it. Make sure you are subscribed so you do not miss the final conclusion in part 3. The life you have been dreaming of is on the other side of this knowledge. Claim your power in the comments right now.